Slap down a stream marker, and I will begin my beautiful narration that none can live without. All right, A Realm Reborn, Part 6. Seventh Astral Era is meant to be a time of peace, and yet Eorzea remains rife with turmoil. From rampaging primals to unruly refugees, myriad are the problems demanding urgent answers. In response, Alphino forms the Crystal Braves, an ambitious company that will serve the realm as a whole rather than any one nation. Motherfucking Alphino. Yeah, Warrior is apparently, like, OP as fuck, this X-Pack. It's just so much mitigation all the time. I need to. I intend to level all the things. I finally finished getting all of my... I have one of every role. I finished all the role quests. So from here, I'm going to kind of spread out what I'm working on. Though my co-tank will probably be playing Warrior, so it's not super high on my priority list, but I know it's OP as hell. Alright. Back to more donuts. Yeah. No, yeah. I've heard. I've seen so many memes that are like, please do mechanics worse. I'm bored. Alright. Fuck is the Rising Stones? There it is. Yeah, I am collecting New Game Plus footage for a story I want to write, and I am narrating all of it with my beautiful everyone gets the same voice acting. So, you know, might get a little grating, understandable if it's not your cup of tea, but more actual Endwalker content will be coming. Try as I might, I cannot shake a creeping sense of dark foreboding. But it avails us not to fret about the unknown. We must concentrate instead on the problems of the present. The primals have been relatively quiet of late, and the beast tribes who summon them are under constant surveillance by the grand companies. Should any suspicious activity be afoot, you may be certain that we will hear of it. And until such a time as permanent solution to the primal problem has been found, we can do little but await and observe. As for the Ascians, Urianger is wholly dedicated to finding the means by which we may defeat the dark beings. Let us pray for good tidings on that front. But all of this you already knew. Let us speak of more current matters, in particular the state of the Crystal Braves. Alphino did well to found the organization, but ensuring its smooth operation is another matter entirely. Though I doubt not that he is doing his best, I felt that a helping hand or two would not go astray. To this end I offered to send one of the Archons to assist him, but he declined. You know how he can be, independent to a fault, and singularly loath to accept help. Save, of course, when that help comes from you. Alphino has entrusted countless matters of import to your care in the past, and I believe he would not hesitate to do so again were you to offer. I should be most grateful if you would go to him and support him in whatever manner you are able. Hell yeah, enjoy the leveling. Hello, Alphino. See this guy? Fuck this guy. What is it, Kinliana? And do be concise, I'm rather busy. You would lend a hand, you say? I see. Well, now that you mention it, there is a matter that wants for attention. Given its sensitive nature, I was hesitant to entrust it to my braves, but the demands upon my time were such that I had little choice. Which is not to say that my men want for labor. Though we are but newly formed, there are already a great demand for our services, and we are hard-pressed to answer all petitions. But I digress. The fact is, I would sooner attend to this particular matter myself, but my presence is required elsewhere. That being the case, I have entrusted its resolution to my second-in-command, Captain Ilberd. Tell him that I sent you, and he will furnish you with the particulars. My thanks in advance, Kinliana.
Hail to you, sire. How might we serve you? Commander Leveilleur bade you serve us? These are welcome tidings indeed. Given the sensitive nature of the task, I could not rely on one of my own. That which I'm about to tell you, I tell you in the strictest confidence. Some days ago, we received certain documents from an anonymous source. They notified us of the presence of a Garlean agent within the ranks of one of the Grand Companies. Following some discreet inquiries, we identified a suspect among the Immortal Flames, whom we detained for questioning. Alas, the man was not our agent. He was but one of many men in the agent's employ. We pressed the traitor for a name, but he had none to give. He claims never to have met his master, whom he knows only as the Ivy. He was, however, certain that this Ivy had coiled itself around every part of the Immortal Flames. It would seem our quarry joined the company some time ago, and gradually recruited others to his cause. These conspirators are the vines by which he learns our secrets, all without exposing himself. It won't be easy to identify the Ivy amidst this tangled mass of subterfuge. But we have a tendril in our hands, and we shall follow it all the way to the gnarled root. Now, much as I would prefer to proceed with due discretion, circumstances demand that this matter be settled post-haste. Garlemald's War of Succession nears its end, and it is feared that the Empire will soon resume its march on Eorzea. When it does, we can ill afford to have traitors in our midst. The Ivy must be rooted out now. We must begin by apprising General Reborn of our findings. I would ask that you accompany me to the Hall of Flames, and remain on hand to see that things go smoothly. Assuming the Ivy's tendrils are as widespread as we believe, he will be aware that an investigation is underway, and if that is the case, he may well move against us. We must be prepared for anything, while taking care not to betray our purposes by seeming prepared. A simple enough task for a one-woman army like you.
Hey, Ilberd? Go die. Thanks.
Well, well. What brings you here, my friend?
She is here at my behest. Greetings, Reborn. It has been a while.
Hilbert, you old scoundrel. When they told me you'd be visiting, I scarce believed my ears. But look at you! The honored captain of the Crystal Bloody Braves. Who'd have imagined, eh?
Not many, but fewer still would have imagined your destiny lay in politics, old friend.
Aye. We've both come far, have we not? Lest you wonder, Hilbert and I go back a long way. We've been friends and rivals since we were lads. The last time we saw each other, Alamigo had just fallen, so you can guess how many summers it's been. And in all that time, not a word from the fool.
Ah, well, my dealings tended toward the modest and mundane, unlike some I could mention. As I hear it, no sooner did you reach Thanalan than the brass blades clapped you in irons and dragged you off to die on the blood sands. Being a stubborn sort, you won 1,000 matches, and earned yourself a place in the people's hearts while you were about it. Then, with your mountain of prize money, you bought the Colosseum and secured a seat on the Syndicate. Those balls, brother! Rags to riches does not do it justice. You're a hero to the common man.
Ha! Spare me. I am no hero. If anyone is worthy of that title, it's our friend here. Next to her, I'm little more than a glorified butcher. But you, Ilbert, you sell yourself short. By all accounts, you are an adventurer of some standing.
I like to think that I did my part for the greater good. But if you're no hero, then I'm no adventurer, not in this company. Anyway. I have tidings.
So there has been progress. I've let it be known that this meeting is a reunion between old friends. None will give your visit a second thought. To convene elsewhere would only attract attention. Let us speak here, in plain view of all.
Well, you see, there's this bitch, the Ivy. That's all we got.
So it is we who have been compromised. Teleji Adeleji's machinations have shaken Ul'dah to her foundations. In such uncertain times, a man's loyalty may be bought for a fistful of gil. But if this snake has truly been in our midst for as long as you say, we must needs consider a far graver possibility. Conspiracy. Could it be that the Monetarists have been in league with the Empire from the first? Very well. I will have my most trusted men investigate the matter. Continue your inquiries in the meantime. It does me well to see you again, old friend. When next we meet, let it be over a flagon of ale.
I look forward to it. Let us reminisce of bygone days, and drink to the future of our homeland. Flame General. You wear the mantle well, old friend. I must work hard if I'm to keep up. Well, it would seem your services were not required after all. I dare say we have Reborn's prudence to thank for that. Still, I was glad of your presence. My thanks, Scion.
Our hunt for the Ivy begins in earnest, Scion. Suffice to say, we must tread warily, but one misstep may well cost us our lives. Our business here is concluded for the time being. Let us return to the Rising Stones to report to Commander Leveilleur. We have returned from Ul'dah, Commander. And not a moment too soon. Something has happened. Trouble? You will recall that the Fourth was tasked with reconnoitering the rendezvous site by the Ivy's minion and his Imperial contacts. Soon after you left, we received word that the unit was ambushed en route to its destination. Gods damn it. According to the report, one of ours has been taken captive. The Garleans are not wont to treat their foemen with dignity, and I have grave fears for her safety. You must dispatch a rescue party at once. Recall those braves who are afield. Begging your pardons, Commander, but we have not the time. I'm afraid I must ask for your aid once more, Scion. An ill-prepared rescue party will only serve to provide the Garleans with more captives. Yet time is of the essence. Simply put, you are the best chance we have. Captain Eilbert has the right of it. I trust you're willing, but of course you are. Now, Elaine of the Fourth lies in wait at the Tangle, near the entrance to Castrum Sentry. Seek her out, and she will apprise you of the situation. I haven't done my dailies today. I forgot that I got pulled into that EX farm as soon as I logged in. Maybe I'll just do them tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning before reset. Yeah, that'll be my plan. You would aid us in this rescue mission? We are in your debt, Warrior of Light. Now time is against us, so allow me to brief you on the situation. The Garleans fell upon us without warning, wounding poor Resh and hauling her away to the castrum yonder. Outnumbered as we are, it's all we could do to flee and regroup. Even as we speak, the Garleans may be interrogating Resh, or worse. With her hurts, I fear she may not long survive their attentions. We must rescue her without delay. Our order may yet be in its infancy, but the bond that binds us is strong as mithril. None of us will stand by while a comrade suffers. With the remnants of the Fourth, we, the remnants of the Fourth, will infiltrate Castrum Sentry. Please help us find Resh before it's too late. Where am I? Resh, thank gods we found you. And thank you, Warrior of Light. Now, to quit this accursed place, Resh cannot move with these wounds. She will need to be carried out. I believe a diversion is in order. May we trouble you to provide one? Given your reputation, I suspect the Garleans will only be too happy to grant you their undivided attention. If we were to create a commotion within the castrum, we should be able to steal away unnoticed. Let us speak again once we are safely outside these walls. I've awaited your return most anxiously, my friend. You've done us a great service indeed. Thanks to your aid, our comrade Resh is safe, and we suffered no further casualties. Words cannot well express my gratitude. All that is left is to report the mission's success to the commander. I skipped the text too fucking fast. I shall go ahead and report to the Rising Stones. Ah, it does me well to see you thus returned. Though I doubt not your prowess, entering an enemy stronghold is generally considered to be a risky venture, and I must confess to having been a trifle anxious. But here you are, hale and whole, having succeeded in your mission, as is your wont. Lest you wonder, the woman you rescued is being cared for by the Domans. Thanks to their expert ministrations, the danger is past. You have my gratitude, Kinliana. Allow me to thank you also, Scion. Resh owes you her life. We escaped with minimal casualties this time, but we can ill afford to be caught off guard again. The Empire is not an opponent to be trifled with. As you say, Commander, I will see to it that the men keep their wits about them. And it may yet take time, but I will not rest until we've identified and apprehended the Ivy. I have every confidence that you will succeed, Captain. As for you, Kinliana, I realize you have scarce caught your breath, but I'm afraid there's no rest for the weary. I require that you accompany me to Corthus. I have been granted an audience with an Ishgardian dignitary, you see, and the man expressly requested your presence. Oh, do not look so surprised. You should be familiar with the trappings of fame by now. We shall depart as soon as you're ready. Back to Corthus, back to the best boy. Second best boy! I saw his face! We have been blessed with a rare opportunity, Kinliana, an audience with an ambassador of the Holy See of Ishgard. We had a treat with Sir Emmerich, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, in Camp Dragonhead. It is considered a great honor to serve the Holy See directly as a Temple Knight. Needless to say, their leader wields tremendous political influence. We would be wise to court his favor. For that reason, I consider your attendance essential. If Sir Emmerich wishes to meet the woman behind the legend, I would not deny him the pleasure of your company. The antecedent should see the wisdom of this plan when you request your permission to accompany me to Corthus. Mayhap you feel it to be a waste of your talents, which could doubtless be put to nobler use. If so, I should remind you that more good can be accomplished with the stroke of a pen than the thrust of a sword. Sure about that, Alfino? I don't know. I think I kick a lot of ass with a sword. I could probably kill a man with a pen, though. A meeting with an Ishgardian ambassador. By all means, I think it a wonderful idea. We've received no reports of etheric disturbances or unusual beast tribe activity of late. If Alfino believes your presence may help him secure more favorable terms, I see no reason to deny him. Antecedent. I take it Kinliana has explained the situation? She has, yet welcome though these overtures are, I cannot help but wonder what prompted them. The Ishgardians have spurned all contact with the other city-states for decades. Why reach out now? Well, would that I knew. The question of their motives is one to which I have given no small amount of thought. Alas, I know no more than is generally known. The notoriously reclusive nation of Ishgard, situation at the center of Abelathia's spine, ruled by the Ishgardian Orthodox Church, at the head of which presides the Archbishop. Members of the original Eosian Alliance, formed in the wake of Alamigo's fall some 2 decades ago. Friends of convenience who withdrew from the Alliance as soon as the Imperial fleet was routed at the Battle of Silvertear Skies. Since which time their borders have remained closed to all outsiders. They have rejected every one of their former allies' calls to reopen dialogue, turning a deaf ear to their neighbors' pleas even when the calamity loomed large. And on the fields of Cartano, where brave men and women laid down their lives in defense of the realm, their banners were conspicuously absent. I have tried to convince Ishgard to rejoin the Alliance at every opportunity. I have explained over and over again that unless Eorzea stands united, we cannot hope to preserve our freedom. One by one, our nations will fall, as once fell Alamigo. And what have mine efforts yielded? Why, naught. Surely this can be considered a step in the right direction. I should hope so. Rather than the lowly messengers we've been fobbed off with in the past, this time we shall meet with a man of genuine influence. Of course, I am not so naive as to think that they come to us out of the goodness of their hearts. We have something they desire, though I have yet to find out what. But such is the nature of diplomacy. They will bring their agendas to the negotiating table, and so will I, along with a handful of incontrovertible truths. Fucking Alfino, speak English! The Empire will soon be at our doorstep once more. Indeed, you may be assured that I will expound upon this point and others. Let us depart for Camp Dragonhead, Kinliana. Our old friend, Lord Horsefant, is expecting us. Since our quest to recover the Enterprise, I understand you have further ingratiated yourself with the man even. Excellent work! His fondness may prove useful to our cause. I'll integrate myself with that man. Can't stop me. Please land on the ground, but thank you. Ah, Kinliana, ever a welcome sight. Our hearths have been stoked to blazing in preparation for your arrival. It would not do for such a distinguished personage to catch cold whilst enjoying our hospitality. The gesture is much appreciated. I fear I shall ever struggle in cold climes. Ah, good Master Alfino, an honor as always. Likewise, Lord Horsefant, forgive us for yet another imposition. I fear we have relied overmuch on you and your aids, since you so generously assisted us in locating the Enterprise. Nonsense. Any debts incurred have long since been repaid. Besides, who can say what the future may bring? House Fortin may ever seek the aid of your newly formed Crystal Braves. In any case, I am simply delighted that the Holy See is at last willing to grant you an audience. No doubt your discoveries at Snowcloak helped to justify the decision. This recent resurgence in heretical activity is of grave concern to us all. But to the matter at hand. Sir Emmerich arrived at Camp Dragonhead earlier, and I am told he is eager to meet with you at your first convenience. You are doubtless weary from your journey, and desire to rest a while by the warmth of our hearth. But if you are willing to forego such comforts, pray inform the knight stationed outside the intercessory. He will grant you entrance and send word to the other attendees. As inviting as your hearth sounds, I think it best we proceed to the intercessory forthwith. The falling snows. We've been expecting you, madam. Pray take your ease inside, and I shall summon the others.
Have faith, my friend. You need only state your case with confidence and clarity.
Commander Leveilleur, it is both an honor and a pleasure to meet you.
So they didn't replace his voice actor either. Now that I think everyone who came in the post-ARR stuff didn't get canned. I'm pretty sure he and Horsefant have the same VAs in Heaven's Ward.
I am Emmerich, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights.
Alfino Leveilleur, at your service. Your reputation precedes you, Sir Emmerich. I think we will find that we have much in common.
Speaking of reputations, yours towers over us all. Does it not?
It does indeed, Lord Commander.
I am not too proud to admit that I have followed your activities with an interest bordering on fascination. Full glad was I to learn that you would be joining us. Now then, shall we begin?
We know full well that the Garleans will return in force ere long. What is more, we have yet to achieve a lasting victory over the Primal Menace. The Beast Tribes continue to summon their gods, and each incarnation is stronger than the last. Ishgard is not immune to these threats. I must reiterate that it would behoove your nation to rejoin the Eorzean Alliance.
Once again, I must respectfully disagree.
On what grounds?
Despite their presence in Kurthus, the Ixal do not concern us. Their territorial claims pertain to Gridanian lands, and it is the people of Gridania whom they harry. Consequently, the Holy See judges this to be a Gridanian affair, and Ishgard does not intervene in the internal affairs of other nations. Even were that not the case, our forces are wholly committed to the Dravanian conflict. We have not the knights to spare. As for the Garleans, we are not ignorant of history. We have observed the rise and expansion of the Empire, and we agree that it is only a matter of time before they resume their campaign in Eorzea.
Then surely it would be in our best interests to present a united front.
Mayhap one day, but not yet. Gaius van Belsar is dead, and the legion of conscripts he left behind lacks the will to fight. We think it highly unlikely that they will emerge from behind the walls of their castra for some time.
Forgive me, but if Ishgard's position has not changed, why did you agree to this meeting?
It was not only as a representative of Ishgard that I came here.
Pardon?
It is not within my power to change Ishgardian policy, regardless of my personal feelings. There is, however, one area in which I may exert a measure of influence. Concerns have been raised over the supplies House Fortin has offered to Revenant's Toll. These have led to calls for restrictions on the provision of aid to foreign powers. I can ensure that the shipments continue unabated.
Sir Emmerich, we would be in your debt.
No, you would not. For I require something in exchange. Of late, there has been a flurry of Dravanian activity, the purpose of which was not immediately clear. However, our astrologians have since observed alarming changes in the heavens. The dragon star waxes unnaturally bright, and there are whispers that it portends the resurrection of Midgard-Sorma.
The fallen guardian of Silvertear Falls? That's absurd.
Full many times have I gazed upon the dragon's corpse still wound around the Agrius, and wondered how different our world might be if it yet lived to plague the skies. I do not know, and I do not wish to know, nor does any son of Ishgard. Yet the mere presence of Dravanian forces is not sufficient grounds to send knights to Mordona, whatever our astrologians say. As I told you before, we have not the forces to spare.
But we do. So you will intervene on our behalf if we agree to watch over the Keeper of the Lake.
Do you accept these terms?
I do. I will see that you are kept abreast of any developments. I regret that we could not come to a similar agreement on other matters, but I understand that you are not at liberty to make such decisions. Nevertheless, I hope that what we have accomplished here today will serve to demonstrate to your countrymen that we can work together towards a common goal. Mayhap one day we shall look back on this moment as the first step towards a united Eorzea.
Mayhap we shall, Commander.
What is the meaning of this?
The caravan, my lord. It's been attacked. It was Iceheart, my lord.
What? By the Fury! All our precautions were for naught?
Just when we were starting to make progress. To make matters worse, the caravan they spoke of was bound for Revenant's Toll of all places. Honestly, were I so inclined, I should think the gods were conspiring against us. Happily, however, I am not. I would know more of this attack. Let us speak with Lord Horsefall and find out what he has learned. My sincerest apologies for the interruption, my friends, but the situation is such that we must act swiftly. You'd be so kind as to elaborate. Iceheart's heretics fell upon the caravans bound for Revenant's Toll as it was passing through Boulder Downs. 'Twas an ambush, swift and ruthless. In an instant every knight was slain, every crate seized. Then, as quickly as they appeared, they were gone. 'Twould be an impossible feat without knowledge of the route, knowledge of which only a select few are privy, I assume. Quite. We can pursue that avenue of inquiry in due course. Seems to me that examining the scene of the ambush should be our first concern. The trail is yet warm. We must act swiftly, as Lord Horsefall said, lest crucial evidence be lost. You have a knack for discerning hidden truths, Kinliana. Why don't you go to inspect the ambush site in person? An excellent idea. Inform my men of your intent upon arrival, and they will gladly share their findings. Move along, adventurer. There's nothing for... Eh? Lord Horsefall bid you speak with us? Then you must be... Beg your pardon, Scion. As you can see, they left nary a crate behind. Tipped the wagon for good measure, even. Whole thing's a bit odd, if you ask me. Would have been easier to just steal it, though a damn sight harder to conceal it, I'll allow. Reckon they came prepared, probably with wagons of their own, hidden away off. But pay no heed to my ramblings. Absent of proof, 'tis not but speculation. Might be as the squire receiving care at the observatorium could tell you something more factual. That is, if he's awake. Unlike myself, he was there during the attack, not that his presence amounted to much. You've come to ask about the attack, haven't you? We came upon them before the entrance to the Hall of the Seven Echoes. Pilgrims, we marked them as, lost and ill-equipped for the journey further north. Our leader called out to them, and one stepped forward to answer. Slowly she approached, her silver hair flowing in the wind like melting snow. Just a young girl, I thought. Some poor lost lamb in search of salvation. Our leader must have thought the same, else why would he let her draw so close? They exchanged some words I couldn't hear, and she leaned forward as if to kiss his cheek. And then he sighed and crumpled to the ground. I didn't know what had happened till I saw the snow turn red. And then there was red everywhere I looked. Tried to fight, but I took a blow to the head, and by the time I came to, the others were dead and the heretics were unloading the wagon. They'd have killed me, so I just laid there still and listened. Iceheart's people spoke of deliverance and resurrection, and he spoke of Shiva. No, whatever. I'm trying to teleport 5 feet, but I should just fucking fly. Oh, Shiva, oh, Shiva. I love you, dear Shiva. Ah, you've returned. What news have you for us? Shiva. It seems that Lady Iceheart does not scruple to sully her hands with blood. Who is this Shiva the heretic spoke of? You don't read a single line of the Inkindriod, Master Elfino. Shiva was a traitor to kith and kin, an apostate who lay down with dragons. Now, we cannot expect all foreigners to know Ashgardian scripture so well, particularly when it concerns the patron saint of heretics. Wait, you say she's their patron saint? Oh no, it all makes sense now. Lord Horsefant, what was the cavern's cargo? If I recall correctly, the Diamond Forge had requested a rather large quantity of crystals. Do you not see? Iceheart and her followers intend to summon Shiva, as a beast tribe would a primal. Why else would they go to such lengths to secure crystals? I shall inform the commander at once, Lord Horsefant. You would agree that discretion is of paramount concern? Of course. We can trust... I trust we can count on your continued support, Master Alfino. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn are sworn to combat the primal threat. Our support is a given. We will need to send word to my brethren in Revenant's Toll. Our entire order must turn its efforts to the prevention of this summoning. Naturally, that includes you, though I am sure you would not miss this for the world. The persistent attacks on our caravans seemed little more than a nuisance at first. The heretics were a problem, to be sure, but a relatively minor one. That was before I discerned the purpose behind their attacks, of course. Now they have my undivided attention. After appraising Minfilia of the situation, I shall summon a unit of Crystal Braves to assist us. As for you, Kiliana, pray join me at Whiteburn Front. Since the incident in Snowcloak, the Knights of House Durandare have redoubled their reconnaissance efforts in the region. It is my hope that they have information which may help us determine precisely where the heretics are hiding. Given our mutual enemy, Lord Jomon should be eager to oblige us. I shall see you there then. Good. Let the eyes have it again? No, okay. Yeah, I still haven't beat the world fate in this region, which makes me sad because no one's gonna fucking do it in 2021. Lord Drillbaugh, Shiva's coming. And even though I think she's a nice lady, that doesn't mean it's what you're gonna think. Scions of the Seventh Dawn wish to join the hunt for Iceheart. Your assistance is more than welcome, my friends. Considering the report I just received, I dare say your timing could be no better. You're all ears, Lord Jolmont. A band of pilgrims was seen transporting a large number of crates to the west. Their garb appears to match the description provided by the squire who survived the attack. Alas, our scouts lost track of them at Snowcloak, that self-same frozen wall which we speculate might conceal the heretics' hideaway. Suffice it to say, the disappearance of these pilgrims and their provisions all but confirms our suspicions. I've heard enough. My knights will join the hunt. I took the liberty of summoning a unit of Crystal Braves to Whiteburn Front. Given the gravity of the situation, I trust you will agree that we must use every resource available to us. These are extraordinary circumstances, Commander. It would be in our best interest to coordinate our efforts. Such is my intent from the start, Sir Emmerich. And so it begins, my friend, though I dare say it will prove an all too brief collaboration. Iceheart will not elude the combined forces of the Crystal Braves and the Temple Knights for long. Nevertheless, a wise man does not wager all of his success upon a single solution. There may be yet a subtler means by which we can locate the heretic's lair. Mayhap Lord Dromon has one in mind. Yes, excellent. My lady, everything has been accounted for. If there is aught else you would have us do, pray speak, and it shall be done. It seems as though we are always one step behind, our quarry ever just beyond our reach. Though I'd like to believe that the tables are about to turn, I must confess to having certain doubts. A joint effort may succeed where others have failed, but it could yet yield the self-same result. Fortunately, we are not without options. I trust you haven't forgotten Inquisitor Guillerme? We have not. The mystery of how the heretics remained undiscovered for so long has been much in our thoughts, as has the question of what steps might be taken to prevent a similar breach of security in future. Accordingly, we conducted an exhaustive and covert evaluation of everyone in Whitebrim Front. Though some were found to have committed certain minor transgressions, we identified only one possible heretic. The man has pledged himself to Iceheart's cause. We have taken note of the movements of the Temple Knights and the Crystal Braves. He would have taken, and upon recognizing their intent, he may attempt to warn the heretics. The man's watch is to end soon, at which point he must report to Sir Gentremont in the yard. I would have you keep an eye on him. If he ventures beyond the walls, follow him discreetly. Should he meet with a heretic, do not interfere, simply watch and listen. I have seen to it that the suspect knows nothing which could endanger our plans. The suspected heretic leaves through the southwest gate. Oh, dude, he'll never fucking see this snowman rolling up on him. Let's go. Look. I'm the epitome of stealth. I am but a simple snowman in the winter. None shall know I am here. The suspected heretic follows the road east. The suspected heretic heads south. Oh, it's a fate spray. It's like, why is that sprite so spoopy? Hey, hey, where in the seven hells are you? I'm freezing my bollocks off here. I'm here, you blundering oaf. Why are you so late? Standing on the wall, why else? I have duties to fulfill, you know. Your sole duty is to the... bloody echo, lower your voice so they hear us and wipe in front. Yes, of course. The Temple Knights are... in Snowcloak. Then what is... that? This is what you bring me? We already knew about... Our comrades in Boulder Downs will use the tunnels. Dead before they know what's happening. Nevertheless, if you waste my time again, is that clear? Well, did your investigation bear fruit? I see. I shall have the man detained at once. His guilt is plain. Would that you could have heard their words more clearly. Yet, the few snatches you were able to make out are none the less enlightening. It would seem the heretics are aware of our operation, and confident that they can thwart it. Their comrades in Boulder Downs are key to their plans, which means it is key to our plans that they be rooted out and put to the sword. We have long suspected that the heretics use a network of secret tunnels to traverse the highlands undetected. Given what you overheard, I fear that Snowcloak may be riddled with such passageways, and that the heretics in Boulder Downs are planning to use them to take our forces unawares. Needless to say, we cannot allow that to happen. Contingents of House Durandare knights are on patrol in the area, and I shall order them to begin searching for the heretics at once, but knowing nothing of our enemy's numbers or readiness, I cannot say for sure that they will be sufficient. It would put my mind at ease if you would consent to assist my knights with the search. I know they would take courage from the presence of so storied a warrior. Pray rendezvous with them at Boulder Downs. If Halone is kind, we may catch the heretics before their plans come to fruition. Show them no mercy, Kinliana. The lives of our allies are at stake. My knights sent no word of your coming, Kinliana. What has happened? What is that in your hand? By the Fury, those are veterans with years of service. And now they lay dead in the snow. Their bodies must be recovered and... No, we have not the men to spare. Not now. Not while Iceheart prepares to summon an abomination. The heretics you dispatched were not sufficient number to contend with the combined strength of the Temple Knights and the Crystal Braves. There must be others, and I'll wager they are on their way to Snowcloak as we speak. To make matters worse, it seems the traitor you followed managed to pass the heretics something of value after all. The parchment you recovered is a timetable the guardsman watches at our outpost in Snowcloak. The traitor was stationed there long before he aroused our suspicions. Would that we had caught him sooner. With this information, the heretics would know when the watch was weakest. They could use their tunnels with impunity and prepare their ambush. The timetable is not changed, you see. Of course, it will be changed now, but the heretics may already be in position. House Durandare must send reinforcements, even if it means withdrawing knights from the Stone Vigil. I can see no other way to safeguard the lives of our allies. Time is of the essence, Kinliana. While my knights make ready to depart, the heretics may take out our allies at Snowcloak unawares. Superior training and equipment will not avail them if they are cut down and their swords are drawn. But all is not yet lost. If you leave now, there may still be time to warn them. Make haste, I beseech you. Fly to Snowcloak and tell Sir Emmerich everything that we have discovered. Indiana, this is a welcome surprise, perhaps the only one thus far. As you can see, we have yet to uncover any hidden... You have my gratitude. Truth be told, we suspected the heretics might be plotting such an attack. Now that we have confirmation, I shall place my knights on high alert. Has Commander Levior been informed? The braves must be made aware. It must be here. I'm certain of it. Why else would they go to such lengths to defend Snowcloak? 'Tis but a pity this discovery comes when our enemy has us at such a disadvantage. Forewarned though we may be, the heretics know the terrain far better than we do. I dare not think how many are watching us at this very moment. Confound it! This is all wrong. Iceheart has us scrambling to save our own skins when we should be straining every... blah, blah, blah. Iceheart has us scrambling to save our own skins when we should be rightly be straining every sinew to find her and stop this damnable summoning. There she is! Come here, girl. That was close. They didn't hurt you, did they? Only my pride, Ida. There will be others nearby. We must see that they are given a similarly warm welcome. Commander Leveilleur! There's been no development, sir. Together with the Temple Knights, we have secured the entrances of some half-dozen tunnels, after spotting the enemy breaking the surface. But that is not all, sir. We think that one of them may be important. Certainly, the heretics near flung themselves upon our swords to defend it. Ha! Just as I suspected. Among this warren of tunnels lies an entrance to Iceheart's lair. Summon the others. We're going in. A moment, Alfino. The tunnel in question is barely wide enough for 2 men abreast. We cannot say with any certainty where it leads, much less what is waiting for us in there. Furthermore, we have no way of knowing how many heretics are still lurking here on the surface. What if they were to converge on this point after we enter the tunnel? For all we know, we could be funneling our forces into a trap. I take your point. If the tunnel is indeed as narrow as you say, greater numbers would be more a hindrance than a help. Should we encounter difficulty, our own allies would become an obstacle to escape. Ahem, a change of plans. While we rendezvous with Sir Emmerich and keep the heretics at bay, you will go wherever that tunnel leads. If you find Iceheart at the end of it, do not let her escape. You venture into the unknown, so see that you're prepared for anything. I suggest you call upon your allies, though not too many, or Papalinama will sulk. You wouldn't want that. No sulking boys in here. Alright. The entrance to the tunnel, madam? It's just over here. Had we not seen the heretics breaking the surface, we would never have noticed it. Per Sir Emmerich's orders, we will stand guard outside. Please be aware that even should you encounter significant resistance, we cannot leave our post. Snowcloak. I kinda hate Snowcloak, but that's okay. Snowcloak. Oh, I forgot to turn on the opening cutscene thing. That's okay. It's the opening here shouldn't matter too much. Yeah, no, fuck it. We'll dip and re-enter. What's that there? A beastman's aetherite, you say? Oh ho ho, but it's guarded by a pupper. Good old Fenrir. And he's dead.
The tales do not do you justice, warrior of light. Yes, I know who you are, and you know who I am. I was given the name Izel, but I earned the name Iceheart. This endless cycle of hatred, of bloodshed, of sorrow. You would see it continue, O noble warrior of light. I would not. I will not. I will bring an end to this war between dragon and man, no matter the cost. In time, you will come to understand that what we do for the greater good. For Eorzea. For Hydaelyn.
That took longer than I expected. What news, Kinliana? So Iceheart is but a pseudonym, not that it matters. That she managed to escape is regrettable, but from your description of that beast, you did well to come close as you did. In any case, now that you've cleared a path, the Temple Knights can begin to survey the tunnels in earnest. Mayhap they will even find a route past the ice wall. Wouldn't that do wonders for the fight against the heretics? The Crystal Braves would certainly share the credit for it too. To all be praised, Kinliana, we may yet turn the situation to our advantage. Assuming we stir up Iceheart before she summons Yeshiva, of course. Needless to say, our fellow Scions have not been idle. Minfilia and Urianger have been busy perusing the archives at House Fortin, gathering what information they can. Which reminds me, if you were intending to trudge back to Camp Dragonhead to report the day's events, don't. The antecedent should be here any minute. I can only assume some people enjoy subjecting themselves to the cold. She's so cute in her winter coat. Antecedent, you came to us straight from the archives of House Fortin. I trust your time there proved fruitful. Would that it had. Urianger and I scoured countless texts, but what we found is of questionable veracity. Accounts of Shiva's life and deeds are sparse and contradictory, only agreeing upon one point. She lay down with a dragon, the gravest of all sins, according to the Ishgardian faith. Yet, in the eyes of Iceheart's followers, this was a holy act, the blessed union of man and dragon. How such a thing could even be possible is quite another conversation. Suffice it to say, I very much doubt that we will find the useful answer in the archives of House Fortin. Much knowledge has been lost over the centuries, though in this case, one wonders if it is by circumstance or design. You said that Iceheart took a moment to plead her case prior to escaping, did you not? Viewed without prejudice, most would agree that bringing an end to an endless war serves the greater good. I think Sir Emmerich may take issue with her methods. I do not care if a few stragglers manage to escape. Until the sappers confirm that a tunnel is safe, the men are not to search it. Yes, Lord Commander. You pursue your foes with less zeal than I had expected, Sir Amaric. Lest you misunderstand, I do not deny that our enemy has given us good reason to be prudent. I merely meant, you being a man of the faith, that I had expected a certain single-mindedness. After all, was it not by the will of Helone that your ancestors came to this land, where they took up arms against the Dravanians? What would they have done in your position, I wonder? There are those who believe that faith is a renunciation of free will, that unquestioning devotion is required for all who would live in life in service to the Fury. Such righteous fervor may well serve a knight in the front line, less so a leader of men. We are all at liberty to interpret the scriptures as we will. I choose to believe that the Fury would value the lives of her followers over the deaths of her enemies. But I would not presume to speak for the Knights of Eld. 'Twas a different time, a different era. The scriptures tell us only so much. 'Twould that it told us more. That man is awfully pragmatic for a servant of the Holy See. A welcome trade at the negotiating table, to be sure, less so when one's enemies are making ready to harness the power of a god. Mayhap he does not truly believe that Iceheart's plan can succeed. Truth be told, I too remain somewhat skeptical. Shiva was real, a living, breathing woman. Of that there could be no doubt. In this respect she differs from every other figure to have been summoned, each of whom was worshipped as a god. The sole exception being good King Mughal XII, the myth made manifest in response to fervent supplications of the Mughals' Saint Shiva may differ, but what of the heretics? They are a tribe of outcasts at war with a mighty nation, who yearn for the resurrection of one who embodies their beliefs. If that is not placing one's faith in a higher power, then what is? Crystals and conviction, Minfilia, they have them both in abundance. Can that truly be all that is required? My survey team has concluded a preliminary analysis of the Aetheryte Iceheart used to escape. They believe that she teleported to another Aetheryte, somewhere not far to the west. Despite the apparent proximity to the second Aetheryte, however, they have been wholly unable to detect its presence directly. Unless Iceheart has some means to mask its signal, I can only presume she had it destroyed to prevent us from following her. Without the means to teleport as she did, we have no choice but to search for an alternate route. Most likely a tunnel, assuming one exists. Let us not give up on teleportation just yet. One of our colleagues in Sharlayan may be able to assist us. I pray that you are right. I dare not think of how long it will take us to survey the entire tunnel system. While Minfilia looks into our Aetheryte problem, I would like to request your assistance with another matter. The third unit is currently tracking the remnants of the heretic force which attacked us. However, the search goes poorly despite our numbers. Kurthus is vast, and Iceheart's followers know the terrain far better than we. Your knowledge of this region may serve to hasten the process. The sooner we capture Iceheart's followers, the sooner we can press them for their leader's whereabouts. Also, though it is admittedly a selfish request, I feel that my braves would benefit immensely from working alongside you. While we have our share of veterans, we also have more than a few less than experienced recruits, many of whom look up to you, in case you were not aware. Good. I knew you would understand. Yuhase can apprise you of the details. When the task is complete, come and find me at the Observatorium. Captain Ilbern and I are meeting there to discuss the latest developments in his investigation. The Temple Knights shall hold Snowcloak in our absence. Let us leave them to their work. Ours is more pressing. There you are, Kinliana. Captain Lavior instructed me to wait for you. Your assistance is most welcome, believe me. Most of the Third hail from Ul'dah, and for a man accustomed to the feel of sand beneath his boots, the crunch of snow can be rather disconcerting. But to the matter at hand. Nary a moment ago I received word that the heretics we seek have been spotted making for Danifin Pass. My braves are already in pursuit, and I should be grateful if you would join them. I myself shall be taking part in the hunt. Never let it be said, I do not earn my coin. Balls, my ankle is on fire. Caught me booting a rock in something and twisted it and fell. The others went on ahead through Denifin Pass. Hurry and you might catch up. If you aren't sure where to go, look for tracks. The snow is fresh, so they couldn't be hard to find. Oh, there's that world fate I was talking about. 15 minutes to do it alone. I don't think that would physically happen. Not at the level it would sink me to, alas. Don't think I'd be able to heal myself. I will be right back. I need to use the restroom. I have returned. Alright, let's get back into it. The tracks lead southeast. Scion, what are you doing here? The heretics? I'm not sure. There was a great scale beast and... Yuhase? I think he went to the east on his own. The heretics split up, so we did too. How embarrassing. I was so intent on following the heretics' tracks that I almost failed to notice they had doubled back. Almost, mind you. One tried to sneak up behind me and got a knife in the gut for his troubles. I thought myself alone, so I started searching for the dead man's knapsack for anything of interest, and lo and behold, before his friends found me, I came upon this. Withdraw in groups of 3 or less to the observatorium. Give the signal and wait. The merchant will be waiting. Be late and be left for dead. Speaks for itself, does it not? They can't possibly mean to rendezvous inside the place, so we should restrict our search to the surrounding areas. Let me rephrase that. You should restrict your search to the wilderness around the observatorium. I'll need to be more than a moment's rest to recover from these wounds. That was fun. Stream disconnected. Hopefully it didn't miss any lines here, because I waited the moment the "fuck you, you're disconnected" icon appeared. There are places like this in my homeland, sacred snow-capped peaks where blood must not be shed. Yet our lands ever thirst for blood of the fallen, and by your deeds it has drunk deep. No, I haven't done no wrong. None but meet in secret with heretics. Deny it all you will, we shall have the truth from you yet. Inquisitors are not the only ones skilled in the art of interrogation. Damn it all. Fancy meeting you here, Kinliana. I presume your work with the Third brought you hither? What a tangled web. Lest you wonder, we came not for the heretics, but for the merchant who had been conspiring with them. It came to our attention during the course of our investigation into the Ivy. It beggars belief, I know, but it seems our favorite Garlean spy may have been providing assistance to Iceheart. Were it not for the efforts of Lady Yugiri and her shinobi, we might never have discovered this connection. Master Elfino is too kind. I fear my people and I have done little to aid your search for this spy. We long to strike back against the Empire and weaken their influence on this land, to prevent the tragedy which befell Doma from reoccurring. The days ahead and the work they promise will require a very particular set of skills which I am fortunate enough to possess. If you will allow it, I will accompany you until the investigation is complete. That's a most generous offer, Lady Yugiri, and one which I'll gladly accept. Thank you. Though I may disappear for a time, know that I shall never be far, and shall always be watching. A comforting thought. Come, Kinliana, let us wait for the Captain Eelberd to return and deliver his report. Captain Eelberd seemed confident in the merchant's resolve would swiftly crumble when pressed. If so, we should have new information ere long. As to whether it will bring us any closer to learning the Ivy's identity, I would rather not say. Given our adversary's cunning, I shall consider us fortunate if we are spared another wild dodo chase. The gods know we have more than enough to occupy our time as it is. Captain Eelberd, your report, if you will. Aye, Commander. Firstly, with regard to the heretic we captured, I regret to say the man could not tell us naught that we did not already know of Shiva. We have since handed him over to the Ishgardian authorities. Henceforth, the Holy See will pursue the matter independently. Our inquiries concerning the Ivy, however, have proven more fruitful. We've ascertained the channel by which the heretics acquired their information on the shipment routes. Go on. You'll recall the flame we first identified as being the Ivy's employ. From him, we were able to trace a trail of all conspirators, each taking us closer to his master. Alas, the trail came to an abrupt end. Fearing that the investigation had been compromised, we took the necessary step of detaining all suspected of conspiracy. There were 5 on our list, including a flame stationed in Revenant's Toll. The man's primary duty was to keep an inventory of donations from abroad, the particulars of which he would share with the benefactors, thereby ensuring that needs did not go unfulfilled. By virtue of his role, he was privy to the details of all shipments bound for the settlement. Needless to say, that included those originating from House Fortal. He knew the precise route the caravan would take, and he sold that information to a merchant. I think I can guess which one. None other. With a little encouragement, he soon confessed to knowingly aiding and abetting the heretics. Well, that's one mystery solved at least, but why? What of the Ivy? Are we any closer to prying off his mask? I dare say we are, Commander. Our relentless pursuit has forced him to commit a grave error. In a desperate bid to cover his tracks, the Ivy resorted to exercising certain administrative powers available only to high-ranking members of the Immortal Flames. If you consider that our investigation is known to barely a handful of them, the field of suspects is greatly narrowed. You mean to say that the agents among Raubon's innermost circle, someone who's been with him since the Immortal Flames' establishment? 'Tis the most plausible explanation. The infiltration likely occurred during the company's founding, with the groundwork for the act being laid beforehand. To slip into a position of authority unremarked, and remain above suspicion all these years. I too was surprised, though I really should not have been. Of the 3 grand companies, Uldaz was ever the more vulnerable to infiltration. Both Nimzalaminsa and Gridania have long-standing armed forces that lent themselves well to the formation of the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder. To all intents and purposes, it was the same people, loyal ones mind, under the same leadership. Only the banner was different. Not so the Flames. Uldaz's military was made up of disparate orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies that answered only to their own paymasters. Hardly an ideal environment with which to establish something as high-minded as a grand company. The difficulties Raban faced when founding the Immortal Flames are well known. Even after he convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the cost, they remained the small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks. Indeed, and given the pressing nature of the Imperial threat, that meant recruiting every passing sellsword. Amidst the chaos of its founding, it would be child's play to infiltrate the company. A good deal easier than they are now, aye. The Immortal Flames have ever been caught between conflicting interests, the public and the private. Though the monetarists ultimately agreed to support the organization's founding, it was not a charity that they did so, but a simple self-preservation. Had Nell von Darnus' ambitions been any less apocalyptic, you may be sure that they never would have risked supplying Raban with an army. 'Tis a wonder they did not attempt to extinguish the flames the moment the danger had passed. Returning to the present. Even as we speak, our Doman allies are shadowing several high-ranking flames, any of whom could be the Ivy. Desiring to deal a blow against the Empire, the refugees were eager to lend us their aid. I expect to hear from them ere long. Very good. Pray continue your investigation with the first. Meanwhile, have the second attend to the unrest. The third can join the fourth in expecting crystal shipments. If they notice anything unusual, I would know of it. If Shiva is summoned in the like manner to other primals, the heretics will be looking for further supplies. Understood, Commander. I shall send word of Sir Emmerich, informing him of our success in identifying the heretics' abettors. Hopefully the information shall be some use to the Ishgardians. It's time, Commander. Yes, I am aware. An emergency council of the Alliance leadership has been called. There have been developments in Garlemald, it would seem. As the commander of the Crystal Braves, my presence has been requested. I would have you accompany me, King Liana. As the realm's stoutest champion, 'tis only meet that you be present for the discussion. Oh, and the antecedent has already given her consent, lest you worry. Had a coughing fit in the middle of that, and I literally started crying. Like me, you are doubtless eager to conclude our business with Iceheart, but until another path to its sanctum is found, she shall remain beyond our reach. Menphilia and the Archons are sparing no effort to secure an alternate route. Until such a time they succeed, I suggest we give some thought to the realm's other problems. I shall go ahead to Gridania in readiness for the coming council. Meet me at Nafika's altar, and we shall make our way into the Lotus Stand together. Thank you for coming, Giliana. When you are ready, speak with the conjurer yonder. She will show us to the lotus stand. The Alliance leaders await you at the lotus stand. Will you be joining them now? No, I just wanted to talk to you for funsies.
Change has come to the Garlean Empire, and we must discuss the implications.
The rumors are true, then? The War of Succession is ended?
It is. A new emperor reigns in Garlemald.
Who?
Emperor Varys!
The birth and all too rapid expansion of the Garlean Empire is commonly attributed to the strategic brilliance of Solus Zosgalvis, yet he did not rule alone. Several members of the royal household also distinguished themselves during his reign. Nevertheless, it was the eldest son who stood to inherit the throne, until his most untimely passing.
I thought us fortunate when I learned that the Emperor had died without naming a successor.
Would that the Garlean Empire had died with him.
'Twas the grandson and his uncle who had the strongest claims, was it not?
Indeed, yet claims count for little without the power to assert them. High Legatus Varus Ye Galvus is a respected military leader, not so his uncle.
So young Varus has torn the crown from his uncle's grasp and taken his place at the head of the Empire.
Given the troubled nature of his succession, the new emperor will require time to seal his grip on power. Yet have no doubt but that he shall, for there are none left with strength enough to oppose him.
Since the success of Operation Archon, the remnants of the 14th Legion and the forces occupying Alamigo have done naught but fortify their positions. But you can be sure they'll be ready to march on us again, if their Emperor gives the word.
When, not if. They say this Varus was so set upon Eorzean annexation that he spoke out against the Meteor Project.
Plainly, the new emperor's intentions are of great concern to us all. I propose that we set aside the Cartano dispute for the present, and discuss what measures the Alliance might take to prepare for a resumption of hostilities with Garlemald. Moreover, I move that we re-examine the question of how our former allies in Ishgard might be persuaded to retake their place at our side. Could Eorzea but stand as one, 'twould deal a grave blow to our enemies' ambitions.
Well, I suppose we should be grateful that they have finally acknowledged the inevitability of Imperial attack. Who knows? They may even do something about it. If only the leaders of Ishgard would follow their example and stop hiding behind their gates, praying for the coming storm to pass them by. But that is a discussion for another time. At present, I am more concerned by the fact that the Alliance's mooted preparations will be made known to the Garleans many moons before their coming. So long as the Ivy eludes our grasp, no secret is safe.
I would not have escaped your notice that the nations of Eorzea are no nearer to being of one purpose, despite their protestations to the contrary. Plainly, the threat of resurgent Garlemald is not enough to stir them. And the reason for this? Deep-rooted mistrust among the citizenry. The nation's leaders can come to all the understandings they like, but their unity means little and less to the common folk. Take the Laminsons, for instance. Though Admiral Velviv outlawed piracy over a decade ago, foreigners still picture the nation to have as a haven for grog-swilling, wooden-legged cutthroats. In likewise, Gridanians are mocked as hermits who talk to trees, and the Uldans scorned as swindlers who worship coin. Not that such sentiments are entirely without grounds, of course. Take that pillar in Uldan society, Teleji Eteleji, for example. But that is beside the point. The fact that people are aware of outsiders, whether they have cause to be or not. All on the basis, one could argue that the conflict at Cardano is a necessary evil. Each nation has its own warmongering faction that advocates the acquisition of Omega. In order to placate them, we present them something resembling warfare, and thereby curb their appetite for full-scale conflict. But enough idle musings. Let us speak of a more pressing matter, the Ivy. Since we spoke at the Observatorium, Captain Ilberd has further shortened his list of suspects, and by happy coincidence, the one he deems the most likely candidate is lately come to Gridania. The hunt nears its end, Kiliana. All that remains is to corner our quarry. Seek out Ilberd near the Adder's Nest. He will give you the particulars. Should there be any developments in Kurthus, you may be sure that I will send word without delay. In the meantime, I wish you success in apprehending the Ivy. My thanks for coming, Scion. Doubtless the commander has informed you, but we have unmasked the Ivy. From this point on, we must proceed with extreme caution. Listen well. The spy we've been seeking all this time is none other than Flame Marshal Elaine Royale, Rabon's second in command. Prior to joining the Immortal Flames, she was a mercenary of no small renown. They say her skill with a polearm had to be seen to be believed. Of Ishgardian birth, she is the highest-ranked foreigner in the Immortal Flames, barring the Flame General himself, of course. When he formed the Grand Company, Rabon chose people based on their worth. Whence they hailed was of no interest. The monetarists saw things differently, however. Having funded the enterprise, they reserved the right to reject candidates nominated for high-ranking positions. And it was no secret they did not favor foreigners, Ishgardians especially, after the way the Holy See forsook the Alliance. Yet the monetarists did not raise so much as a murmur of protest when Royale was appointed to her post. Passing strange, is it not? Could it be that the Ivy has some hold over the monetarists? But these revelations are secondary to our current mission. Of foremost interest to us is Royale's presence here now. As you may be aware, it is the duty of the Flame Marshal to command the Immortal Flames in the absence of the Flame General. While Rabon attended the Council of Alliance Leaders, she should have remained in the Hall of Flames. The woman has no business being in Gridania, yet here she is nonetheless, on some pretense. She is up to something, mark my words. Even as we speak, I have a dozen men trawling the Flames records for evidence of Royale's guilt, but if we can catch her red-handed, we shall have all the proof we need. Which brings me to the plan. I have people watching the city gates, the airship landing, and the docks, every point of egress. She cannot leave without our knowledge. All that remains is to shadow her until she betrays her true purpose. Can I rely upon your eyes, Scion? You have my thanks. Let us go, then, and take care not to alert our quarry. Rail is ahead in direction of the Blue Badger Gate, with me, Scion. So Rael has entered the Carlin canopy, meeting someone perchance? Or could it be she means to board an airship? Pray look for her within. If she is not on the upper floor, try the landing area below. One of mine is stationed there, and she may have seen something. If Aim is her name, I shall remain here in case Rael appears. Liana Ironhide, such an unexpected pleasure. What brings you here? A social visit, you say? How pleasant. No, she didn't come this way. I've noted every passenger, and none bore any resemblance. Well, don't let me keep you. Yes, hello, cat. Your presence was given away by my mother talking to you about you sitting on my lap. Come on. Sit down. Sit down. There you go. Nowhere to be seen, you say? Are you sure she did not board an airship? She did not come back out, either. Where in the seven hells could she have gone? The Roost! How could I forget? Greetings, good sir. Might I interest you in some Muntoy tonic? A cup a day imbues a man with great vigor, if you catch my meaning. Perhaps another time, friend. Wait, that necklace. You're a shinobi of Doma. The woman you seek has left Gridania by way of Wetshore Pier. She was attired as a merchant, but these eyes are not so easily deceived. You may wish to take your search to the East Shroud. Rest assured that we shall continue to support you from the shadows. Thank the 12 for the Domans. Were it not for their unique talents, Royale would have disappeared without a trace. EJ, why are you stalking your brother like that? It's a little weird. You're allowed to leave the room. One of my cats is, like, staring the one on my lap down. Like, they've dishonored his family or something. EJ, we are your family. Mom, I think CJ needs to be rescued. He's acting very queer. He's like stalking out of the bathroom, staring at this guy like Vader's gonna eat him. Yeah, he needed some rescuing. He was ignoring him. It was just CJ who was acting queer. Yeah, buddy. Our hunt leads us to the East Shroud, Scion. I suggest we follow Rael's example and take the ferry from Wetshore Pier. They'll doubtless wish to make certain preparations. See to them while I go on ahead. I shall wait for you at Sweet Bloom Pier. You're not the ferry skipper. You're the ferry skipper. This way, my friends. Your quarry makes for Hawthorne Hut. If Royale is truly the one we seek, we can expect that she means to make contact with her Garlean masters there. An explanation is in order. You are no doubt aware that the Garleans have their own method of communicating over great distances. Well, our ingenious friends at Garland Ironworks have provided us with devices to disrupt these communications and have installed them all around the city-states. In so doing, we've made it difficult for Imperial agents to correspond with their masters. Royale would thus have no choice but to rendezvous with her Imperial contact directly. Yet, as a well-known face in the Immortal Flames, she could not move about Thanalan without being recognized. It would only be a matter of time before someone saw through her disguise. It is for that reason, I believe, she has chosen the Black Shroud for her clandestine meeting. The Elysian are a common sight here, and her comings and goings are not like to turn any heads. As my scouts tell it, the Garleans have sent agents with a mind to destroy the devices and render such direct contact unnecessary. Fortunately, our shinobi have thus been successful in rebuffing their efforts. This is it. We need only make for Hawthorne Hut and catch Royale in the act. My people report that our quarry has departed from the Bramble Patch. The Ivy returns to the Gnarls whence she came, but perhaps this is all for the better. To convict someone of her standing, we will require damning evidence against her. What could be better than to catch her in the act when she meets with her Garlean masters? My countrymen and I shall wait in the shadows. Tread warily, my friends. Just beyond, Royale is in conversation with an individual clad in the manner of an adventurer, an Imperial intermediary, no doubt. This is it, with me! Flame Marshal Elaine Royale, you are under arrest for treason and espionage. You were followed, you bloody fool! Damnation! You are unarmed, my lady, and scarcely garbed for battle, but if you wish to fight, you are welcome to try. What is the meaning of this, Captain? Would you arrest me for strolling in the Twelveswood? When last I looked, that was no crime, and neither was conversing with passing strangers. You would feign ignorance, then? Very well. If you do think of something to say, there will be plenty of time to say later. Now come quietly, or I shall make you wish you had. I will offer you no struggle. After all, I have naught to hide. Even a warrior of Royale's renown could not have hoped to escape by force. Despite her claims, her surrender does not bespeak innocence, but an awareness that her position is untenable. With the ivy thus uprooted, it is to be hoped that the tendrils she entwined around the immortal flames will gradually wither and die. Mayhap that the people of Ul'dah will have the grand company they deserve, but let us speak of the present. If I may ask, what will you do now, Kinliana? So the Scions seek a way into Iceheart's sanctum. Then I dare say you are eager to return to the Rising Stones. Pray do not let me keep you. Fear not, my country and I shall tend to the aftermath. You need not waste your talents here. And speaking of talents, you have been training in the art of the shinobi, have you not? The change in your bearing is quite evident, to me at least. I look forward to seeing you in action. Till next time, my friend. Aw, cute little bit of extra dialogue because I have ninja. That's cute. Excuse me. Welcome back, Kinliana. I understand that Alfino had a task for you. May I ask what it was? Charges of treason and espionage against Elaine Royale. I can scarce believe it. Could there not have been some manner of misunderstanding? No, it avails us not to dwell on it. Whatever the truth may be, we must trust the authorities to uncover it. Let us speak of another matter. I am pleased to report that we have made progress in our efforts to find a way into Iceheart's sanctum. As you may recall, Iceheart used the Aetheryte in the depths of Snowcloak to teleport a short distance to the west, most likely to a sanctuary of some description. It is there that we suspect she means to summon Shiva, using the crystal she stole from House Fortom's caravan. The heretics believe that they are bringing about the second coming of their patron saint, but if, as we suspect, they mean to hold a summoning ritual of the kind employed by the beast tribes, it seems likely that the result will be something more akin to a primal. Suffice to say, they must be stopped, and stop them we shall, but first we must surmount the obstacle that Iceheart has placed in our path. Ordinarily, it would be a simple matter to tap into the established Aetheryte, and thereby follow our quarry. However, despite our best efforts, we have been unable to ascertain the position of the Aetheryte to which she teleported. Our prevailing theory is that she destroyed the second Aetheryte upon arrival, a reckless, desperate measure, but also an effective one. After discussing the matter at length with Urianger, we have concluded that we lack the expertise to develop a solution. Which is why we have called upon the aid of one who does possess such expertise, a colleague of ours who is currently en route to Revenant's Toll from Charleon. She should be arriving within the hour, in fact. Since you are here, mayhap we could welcome her together. I am certain she would appreciate the gesture. Let us make our way over to the northern gates and await her coming. Moonbreeder! Moonbreeder!
Minfilia, am I right?
None other. I bid you welcome to Revenant's Toll, and thank you for traveling so far on such short notice.
As if I could ever say no to Urianger.
Moonbreeder is an accomplished Sharlayan scholar and an authority on aetherite technologies. She has played an invaluable role in our search for a means to capture Ascian souls.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Let us return to the Rising Stones at once, then. We have much to discuss.
It's been ages!
Oh, longer, sister.
A joyous reunion indeed. Well, of course it is. Moon and I are like twin sisters.
Save in appearance and aptitude.
Everyone, if I could have your attention. We have with us an esteemed guest who has come from Sharlayan to assist us. I bid Moonbreeder join us here that she might share with us her extensive knowledge of aetherites. Also, as many of you are already aware, she has been overseeing our research into white auracite, a sample of which she has been good enough to bring with her.
Well, I had to come, didn't I? You'd have to be bloody daft to turn your nose up at a chance like this. Where better to conduct my final tests than a land so steeped in ether you can taste it?
'Tis plain the passage of the years hath done little to dampen thy youthful spirits, and nothing at all to reform thy youthful manner.
Oriange, where in the hells have you been hiding?
Unhand me.
I don't know what to do with women.
I come all this way, and that's what you have to say to me.
God, I love
I
them.
much preferred when you were pleading with me to drop everything and hurry to your side. What was it you said? None save thee can satisfy this need.
Go.
Thancred's into it.
Thine artless attempts to misrepresent mine all too innocent motives do thee little credit. Mine intent, as well thou knowest, was but to impress upon thee the gravity of the circumstance. Lest thou doubt, a deiform entity shall shortly be summoned, save if thou and no other grantest my compeers thine aid.
You still haven't found it, then? Your missing aetherite?
We have not. No. We know that Iceheart teleported to an aetherite not far from the first. Yet even after careful analysis, we could not locate the second beacon. We now suspect that the heretics destroyed the second aetherite to impede our pursuit. Our allies continue to scour Snowcloak for Iceheart's sanctuary, but we have no guarantee that they will find it. Yet it must be found, for even now Iceheart prepares to call upon Saint Shiva.
I'm sorry, but if the aetherite's been destroyed, then that's that. Although, you're absolutely sure she used the first aetherite, are you? She didn't just use teleportation magics?
One of our own bore witness to her escape. I can say with absolute certainty that Iceheart used the aetherite.
In that case, there might be a way, so long as the ethereal current is still flowing.
Truly? How?
We use the current to recreate the beacon. As you know, Aetherites are a bit like lighthouses. We use them to reconstitute our physical forms when crossing the ethereal sea. Without them, we'd lose all sense of direction and our essence would dissipate. However, we don't rely solely on these beacons. There are currents of ether which flow between them, currents which help guide us to our destination. Now, these currents will gradually dwindle away to nothing if an Aetherite is destroyed. But if even a sluggish flow remains, we could theoretically use it to direct a surge of concentrated ether towards the void left by the beacon, and thereby fill it up again.
Like opening the floodgates to fill a dry riverbed. Though, correct me if I'm wrong, but would we not need a veritable reservoir of ether?
In concert, we might manage to channel a sufficient volume, yet that is not my chief concern. To direct the flow of so great a volume of ether with the requisite precision would be a nigh impossible task in itself.
I barely succeeded in facilitating travel to an unattuned beacon. That which you describe sounds considerably more difficult.
And dangerous. Every person who has attempted to teleport in this fashion has died in the process. They, however, did not have white aura sight at their disposal. I can use it to channel all the ether you can give me into the Aetherite. However, white aura sight cannot retain ether for an extended period of time, so we would need to infuse it immediately beforehand. Just so you know, I'd confidently give this plan better than even odds of success. And if the worst comes to worst, your people won't suffer.
Though it risk the lives of our best and brightest, we have not the time to seek other options. If the ethereal current still flows, we shall carry out Moonbreeder's plan.
That's the spirit. Let's roll the dice.
Yo, this is my life we're talking about here. I'm about it. But I could die. I have already informed Alfino of our plan to recreate the beacon in the manner Moonbreeder described. He agreed that despite the inherent danger, it represents our only hope of success. He also said that he wished to meet with you at Snowcloak before proceeding. I expect you will find him waiting for you there when you arrive. I want you to know that I appreciate everything you've done on our behalf, Kinliana, and that I have faith that you will return to us, as you always have. My gay little heart. Kin's gay little heart can't handle it. Minfilia, you're afraid I'm gonna die. I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish post-ARR today. Like, I really want to, but fuck, it's just like, it's a lot. There has ever been a very large quantity of post-ARR, even after the after condensing it. Curious. Oh, fuck. Yeah, it's here. I think this list still is all 100, though. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Yeah, so there used to be 28 quests after this point. I'm really hoping that it's been condensed, because I'm pretty sure that list is still all 100, and it is no longer 100 quests. Good to see you, Kinliana. I was starting to wonder if you were having second thoughts. Captain Ilbert sends his regards, by the way. He attends to the interrogation of Elaine Royale in Ul'dah, even as we speak. But I shall not distract you from the matter at hand, as we can discuss the ivy upon your return. I trust that, by which I mean to say, the others are waiting for us at the Aetheryte, after you, Scion. Thancred, you can't. No, wait, no, never mind. Nope. No, hasn't yet happened. It hasn't happened yet. We're good. I was like, Thancred, you can't channel ether, but no, he still can. It's after something that happens later. There, it's ready. Ha! It worked, I think. Try tuning to the Aetheryte now. Feel for the current and try and locate the beacon. We have done all we can, Kinliana. For now, let us withdraw. When your final preparations are complete, you must seek out the beacon we have created. If by the grace of the 12 you arrive safely, you must stop Iceheart before she summons Shiva. I'll probably do Shiva and then call it a night. I don't think I'm gonna... Yeah, there's no way I'll be able to finish within a reasonable hour. We cannot possibly ignore that our actions have alerted Iceheart to our plans. Should that be the case, she may attempt to hasten the completion of the summoning ritual, and if it succeeds, you will have little choice but to face Shiva in battle. Knowing little of this saint, I cannot say if your own strength will suffice, and so I would encourage you to call upon your allies. Some may have reservations about wagering their lives with the success of Moonbreeder's experiment, but others will surely agree that the desperate times call for the desperate measures. Ah, before you assemble your party, pray speak with that knight. I believe he has a message to you from Sir Amric. Madam, Sir Amric regrets that he could not be in here in person, and asks that I read to you this letter. Ishgard faces an unprecedented threat, yet in our hour of need, it is not her knights who stand poised to defend her. Kinliana Ironhide, the warrior of light, savior of Eorzea, your deeds this day shall not be forgotten. Where others would flee, you choose to remain. Where others would falter, you rise to the challenge. Where others could use their gifts for selfish ends, you wield yours in service to the greater cause. May Helone bless you with good fortune and see you safely home. Time to disrespect a woman and auto-attack her to death. Because I love her music.
You should never have come here, warrior of light. I labor only to forge a lasting peace. A peace you would deny us out of ignorance and blind faith. No matter. If it is our fate to be at odds, then it is mine to strike you down. We whom gods and men have forsaken shall be the instruments of our own deliverance. Partake of my flesh. Fill this vessel with your light. Walk amongst your brothers and sisters once more. Oh, Saint Shiva, still the hatred within our hearts and bless us with eternal grace. Fool. Blind, bloody fool. You, of all people, should understand the suffering war begets. That no sacrifice is too great if it brings an end to the violence. Mine is the righteous cause. You fight in a war you do not understand. A pawn of liars and schemers. And they are no less ignorant than you. Following the creed of their fathers without question, never thinking to ask why. Trapped in a delusion of their own creation, and blind to the truth. Warrior of light, redemption is not beyond us. We who walk before may lead those who walk after. Seek the keeper of the lake. See with eyes unclouded. Do not squander Mother's gift. Hear, feel, think.
And so the vessel withdraws, a predictable outcome. Nevertheless, La Habrea will be pleased. How unfortunate.
By the 12, you're alive! I mean, of course you're alive, why wouldn't you be? Iceheart did what? And you're certain about that, you are? Javonians are skilled with glamours, after all. Look, if you say that's what you saw, I believe you. It's just that I've never heard of a primal being summoned like that before. Are you sure you're not injured? Head trauma is known to cause hallucinations, you see. No? Fair enough, I was only asking. You ask me, there's naught to be gained from mulling over the implications of your story in the freezing cold. Let's save it for the Rising Stones, eh? I'll get everyone to meet us there. Ah, but before that, you'd best pay a visit to Whiteburn Frump and speak with Alfie. He's probably worried sick about you. That, or he's busy playing politics with the Ishgaudians. Either way, I'm sure he'd be delighted to see you hale and healthy. Speaking of which, you don't have a headache or anything, do you? No? Blurred vision? No reason. See you again soon. This controller does not maintain a charge. There's no reason I should have to charge it for like fucking 12 hours a day. There she is, and none the worse for wear. Was there ever any doubt that the Warrior of Light would succeed? I think I speak for all of us when I say that I would like nothing more than to hear the stirring tale of your victory, if you would be so kind. And we were too late to prevent the summoning. But not too late to prevent further loss of life, an outcome worthy of celebration, and one for which we have Kinliana to thank. Yes, you are right, of course, Sir Emmerich. Which we should be content with what we have accomplished. I, for one, would not have wished for a better outcome. Shiva is no longer a threat, and the heretics have been routed. Aye, there's a matter of Iceheart's escape, but she cannot run forever. Whether it takes days, weeks, moons, or even years, my knights will find her. In the meantime, Lord Dromont, is the caravan ready? The supplies your men have recovered have been prepared for transport in accordance with your wishes. Rest assured that my knights will see them safely to Revenant's Toll. Of that I have no doubt. I take it these are the self-same supplies the heretics stole from the House Forton cavern? Less the crystals which compromised the bulk of the shipment, yes. Scarcely a fraction of that which was promised, but a meaningful contribution to your cause all the same. Oh, and on an unrelated note, Kinliana, might I trouble you to accompany me to Camp Dragonhead at your earliest convenience? 'Tis not for my benefit. A certain lord was most distressed when he learned of your intent to risk your life and limb to stop Iceheart. Took half a dozen knights to restrain him, I am told. Men given to vent their anxieties in a myriad ways. Pray do not think less of him. The best boy was worried about me. Best boy, I'm sorry. I have to kill primals. It's what I'm hardwired to do. What were you thinking, Kinliana? Wagering your very being is on a dubious theory which might allow you to enter Iceheart's lair, knowing full well that she could have sufficient forewarning to complete her ritual to summon Shiva anyway, and then engaging the abomination in mortal combat? By the fury, Kinliana, 'tis the stuff of ballads, a battle for the ages. Would that I had been there to fight by your side. Yet here I was forced to wait, condemned to wonder at the fate of a dear friend for a veritable eternity. I would not wish such torture on my most hated enemy. But you are here now, and that is what truly matters. Let us move on. Sir Emmerich wished to have words with you and Master Alphino in private. He awaits us in the intercessory. Greetings, madam. I'll show you in at once.
On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, allow me to express my deepest thanks. Never before have we been required to contend with a primal. Indeed, there were fears in some quarters that our knights might not be equal to the task. From what we have now learned of these beings, I can say with certainty that we would have lost a great many men had the Scions not intervened.
Then the argument for preemptive action should be self-evident. Perchance now you will reconsider my proposal that Ishgard move against Natalan.
Ere we first met, a similar proposal was tabled, but the Holy See decreed that we were to observe, and that military action should be taken only in self-defense. All things considered, it was not an unreasonable decision. Since the calamity, 2 vigils have fallen to the Horde, while Garuda has never shown any inclination to storm the gates of judgment. Which is why this unprecedented crisis and its resolution may prompt a change in policy. You who have faced these primals know well the threat they pose. Ishgard did not. Not until now. And there is naught like a brush with death to change a man's outlook.
At the very least, this should silence any lingering objections to our arrangement with Revenant's Toll. The Holy See may even feel moved to grant us its formal endorsement.
So far as it is possible, the Scions shall be compensated for their service.
We should be grateful for any aid you can provide.
As a gesture of good faith, I shall withdraw my previous request. Your people are doubtless needed elsewhere.
That will not be necessary. We too have a vested interest in watching Dravania's movements.
I see. Once more, I must thank you.
Sir Emmerich, if I may, Do you truly believe that Midgard's could return?
The heavens are a window unto truth, but those who interpret their movements are not infallible. I requested your involvement as a precautionary measure.
But of course, you sought an excuse to compensate us from the first, mindful of what would happen if Revenant's toll were taken by your enemies. Ishgard is not wont to aid its neighbors, but that does not preclude it from manipulating them to serve its own interests.
Choose your next words carefully.
Do you know what sort of man becomes Lord Commander of the Temple Knights? One who comes from good stock. I did not. Yet here I am now. Why do you suppose that is? Because I swiftly learned to tell the difference between words, deeds, and beliefs. You are correct, Master Leveilleur. Ishgard desires to see Revenant's toll flourish, as it would present a troublesome obstacle to our enemies from the south.
We are so glad to be of use to you.
As we are to you. Ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement, lest we forget, one born of necessity. The dragons grow more restless by the day, and the heretics harry us nigh without cease. We have contended with such troubles for centuries, but there are limits to even our endurance. Yet as a pauper is loath to part with his meager possessions, the leaders of Ishgard are not wont to render up their trust to outsiders. But with perseverance on our part, they may yet be made to see the light. Nevertheless, one must take care when walking the road less traveled.
Wise words, Sir Emmerich. I shall make a point to remember them. I must apologize for my earlier outburst. I hope it will not sour our good relations.
Not at all. You but spoke from the heart. I trust you understand that at times my duties may prevent me from meeting with you. On such occasions, my second-in-command will speak for me.
Lucia, at your service. Pray excuse our reticence. We are but wary of speaking too freely, lest our sentiments be made known to our enemies. Know that the Lord Commander and I are of one mind. For the sake of Ishgard, and of Eorzea at large, I pray our peoples can put aside their differences. Those who dwell in the past risk losing sight of their future.
Should aught befall one of our shipments, pray inform Lucia immediately. You may also relay to her any words you might have for me alone.
Oh my god, is that really her voice actor? Oh my god. It is Tara Platt. Huh. That's a bummer that they had to, they ended up replacing her. Yeah, and Heaven's Ward and Endwalker, she's got a different VA because they fired all the VAs here, but that's Tara Platt. Good shit.
Not being of Ishgardian birth, she owes no allegiance to any noble house, making her as near to incorruptible as one can find in my homeland. Suffice it to say, I trust her completely, and so may you. Which reminds me, Lord Orchefort, if you would be so kind.
Certainly.
In times such as these, trust is ever in short supply. Mayhap this will go some way to rectify the problem. The results of our investigation into the heretics' recent attacks, as well as our interrogation of the merchant you detained.
Sir Emmerich, I cannot thank you enough.
Think nothing of it. Ishgard may be many things, but it is no friend to Garlemald.
Did I not tell you to have faith, my friend?
It would seem we have much to discuss with our friends at the Rising Stones. If what you say is true, Iceheart's method of summoning Shiva defies all precedent. It necessitates a complete reprisal of the primal threat, and of our approach to combating it. Moreover, there are grave ramifications if word of this incident reaches Imperial ears. The Garlean Empire believes that primals are an insufferable menace, that their mere existence is a threat to this very star. As such, they deem any action taken against the beast tribes to be justified by default. Imagine, then, if it became known that it was not only the beast tribes of Eorzea that could summon primals, but her civilized people as well. Any lingering objections to the Eorzean campaign would vanish overnight. Where before we had to contend with a single Imperial Legion, we could find ourselves facing the combined might of all Garlemald. But I speak unadvisedly. Come, Kinliana, it is better that we continue this conversation in Mordona. I'm going to teleport to Mordonuts, and then that's going to be it for me for the night. Yeah, this is more donuts. We are at Eyes Unclouded, which is... yeah. So, assuming that they did cut some of this out, there's still at least probably 15 or so quests to go, but probably more, possibly the whole 25. We shall see, but it's definitely not being finished tonight. I was tempted to go until about midnight, but I've got work in the morning, and I do actually have to dog sit the next 2 days, 3 days, 2.5 days, so... the chance of a stream from me is incredibly limited, if not impossible, for the next 2 days. I might bring my PS5, but I don't really want to transport it. That seems a little sketch. So I'm probably just going to play on PC, which having a laptop means I can't really stream it. We'll see if maybe I can hook up a second monitor and figure that out from there. But if I can't do that, then that means no streams for the next 2.5 days, unfortunately. I have to take care of my brother's puppy while he's away for his birthday. But if anyone's still lurking here, I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. And I will hopefully see you in a couple days if I can't stream sometime soon.